Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Zabeehullah. I hope everything is well at your end. Dear students, as you know that in the first lecture I talked about pronouns, and in today's lecture I will talk about prepositions. You know that prepositions are not only important for medical and engineering student, but it is also important for the students who are pursuing master degrees. You can say master degree in different subjects like mathematics, chemistry, physics, because these are the students whenever they are done with their master degree, so definitely they will go for, you can say, general test. In general test, most of the MCQs that come, they are based on preposition. So I think that it would be better for them, for all those students who wanted to prepare themselves for all these general tests. This lecture would be, you can say, immensely productive and immensely lucrative for them. Understand? So let's start formally about preposition. In the preposition, understand the first, preposition is just short definition. We are not concerned about that what is its definition. Understands, it is just childish. We will talk about in this lecture about, you can see, three different prepositions. Understand? In, it, and on. Understand? In this lecture we will talk about three different prepositions: in, it, and on. And in the next lecture we will talk about above, over, below, under, beneath, underneath, across, along, through. Understand? These are the prepositions which are really important. Understand? So the first lecture is all about in, at, and on. Look at, gentlemen, the very first use of in. In is normally used for town and country. For example, in Pakistan, in India, in America. Understand? So it is normally used for town and country. Whenever we talk about town or country, we will use before that noun in. Understand? इससे पहले हम in इस्तेमाल करेंगे. एंड स्ट्रीट से पहले भी हम in इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. अंडरस्टैंड? स्ट्रीट से पहले भी आप in इस्तेमाल करेंगे. And secondly, if we street, अगर we talk about street generally, understand, अगर आप street के बारे में generally बात कर रहे हैं, means in the street, तो आप in इस्तेमाल करेंगे. अंडरस्टैंड? लेकिन अगर आप मेंशन करते हैं तो आप चूंकि पोजीशन की बात करेंगे तो पोजीशन के लिए हम क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं? एट इस्तेमाल करते हैं. And gentlemen, on the floor, understand, on the table, and is normally used whenever you are just touching the very surface. Whenever you are just touching the very surface of anything, of any object, that you will be using what? On. Whenever you are just touching the very surface. It normally हम use करते हैं position के लिए. It normally हम क्या किसके लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं? Position के लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं. और दूसरी बात ये है कि ये group activities के लिए भी हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. For example, at the party, at the meeting means हम इस तरह नहीं in the meeting और इस तरह हम नहीं कह सकते, because in meeting there would be several people. Understand? There would be group of people. So whenever we talk in the context of group, we will be using what? We will be using at, because it is normally referring to group of people. Understand? The first lecture is a bit understand. I am just talking about generally. Then we will come. We will talk about you can say the various uses of in and at and on. Secondly, look at these two different sentences. There are 400 seats in the cinema, and I was at the cinema. Just analyze these two sentences. What are the difference? In the first tense, in the first statement, or in the first sentence, here is a use of what? Here is a use of an, and here is a use of at. For example, if someone asks you that what is the difference in these two between these two sentences, over here n has been used and over here at has been used, then what is the difference? Dear students, there are 400 seats in the cinema. When we talk about this, we will say, we will be interested that what is going on inside a building. What are inside a building? We will talk about the contents. We will talk about the substance. Understands what are inside the building, means there are 400 seats. So over here we are interested in that what are inside a building. Understand? So then we will use N. Second sentence देखिए, I was at the cinema. If you use over here, action is important. Over here, what is important? Action is important. Half. I was at the cinema means what is happening. What is happening at the cinema? Understand what is happening in the cinema. To gentlemen, over here we are interested in the action, means there are people for what? For watching films. For watching films. So in this context we will use at when we talk about the contents, when we talk about the substance inside a cinema. To gentlemen, in that context we will be using what? And in the second context, when you are interested what is happening, understand, for example, people are there for watching why people go to cinema, for what purpose, they go to cinema on purpose. And what is that purpose? For watching film. Understand? So when we talk in the context of watching film, then we will use at. But if we talk about the context of cinema, what are inside the cinema, then we will use N instead. Gentlemen, secondly, it's really important. There are certain specific words where you will be bound to use N before all those words. For example, whenever you come across these words, you will use what? You will use N. Understand? Look at these. Prison. You cannot say at the prison. You will say in the prison. Understand? Because it is a word which must be preceded by you can say preposition N. Understand? Prison, hospital, lesson, book, newspaper, photo, picture, country, medal, bag, front of, line, rough. These are certain words which have to be preceded by what? By preposition N. For example, हम कहते हैं in prison, in the hospital, in the lesson, in the book, in the newspaper, in the photo, in picture, in country, in the medal, in front of, in line, in rough. So these are the words which must be preceded by what? By preposition N. Second, on. Platform, form, page, map, screen, island, beach, coast. These are the words which must be preceded by what? On. इन वर्ड से पहले आप क्या in the platform आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. You cannot say in the platform. You cannot say in the beach. You cannot say in the island. You will say on island, on platform, on form, on page, on map, on screen. Understand? So these are the words which must be preceded by what? Preposition on. Preposition on. Same is the case with at. At भी ऐसे वर्ड्स है जिनसे पहले आप क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? At इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Look at station, airport, home, work, school, seaside, top, at the bottom इस्तेमाल करते हैं. At the top of the hills, at the bottom, at the end. हम नॉर्मली क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं? इन वर्ड से पहले हम क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं? At इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Understand? Secondly, gentlemen, when we talk about the difference, at is simple है, it refers to position. N हम किसके लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं? N, gentlemen, when we talk about three-dimensional space. When we talk about three-dimensional space means when you are covered. When you are covered, उसी sense में आप N इस्तेमाल करते हैं. For example, if I place this marker on the table, means since it is just touching the very surface of the table, that's why I will use on the table. I cannot say in the table. I place the marker on the table. Understand? Because it just touches the very surface of the table. But if I say, अगर मैं इसके inside रख लूँ, understand? एक table के अंदर inside रख लूँ, तो I placed the marker in the table. I placed the marker because now it is making a three-dimensional space, and to address three-dimensional space we rely on using N. Understand? We use N. And secondly, air to clear hair, it refers to position. Secondly, difference है N and at के दरमियान. N, gentlemen, it is used for what? N is used for broader, in broader sense. ब्रॉडर रीजन के लिए हम एन इस्तेमाल करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दैट्स व्हाई इट इज यूज्ड विद कंट्री. In the country I live in Pakistan. Understand? And secondly, it is used for narrow region. For narrow region. For example, if someone asks you, where are you? What would be my answer? I would say, I am at Cadet College Razmak in North Waziristan. At Cadet College Razmak is a narrow region. North Waziristan is a broader region. Again, if someone asks you, where are you now? I will say, I am at academic block in Cadet College Razmak. Cadet College Razmak is a broader region comparatively to academic block. Understand? That's why I will use at for narrow region and in for broader region. Understand? In this kind of hope it is clear now. So these are the certain words which must be preceded by an, on, and at. Now talking specifically that what are the various uses of an. जेंटलमैन, एन हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं ईयर के लिए, मंथ के लिए, सीजन के लिए, पार्ट ऑफ द डे के लिए आप इस्तेमाल करेंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल यू विल से इन 1970, इन 1980, एट 1980 और ऑन 1980 आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. तो ईयर से पहले आप क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? एन इस्तेमाल करेंगे. इन 1980 जो भी है, ठीक है, जो भी ईयर है, इनसे पहले आप एन इस्तेमाल करेंगे. इसी तरह इन सितंबर, यू कैन नॉट से 8 सितंबर और ऑन सितंबर. अंडरस्टैंड? इन सितंबर, in December, in January. Understand? So gentlemen, when we talk about in the context of month or year, we will use and before that. Secondly, season, जितनी भी season है, in summer, in winter, understand? In spring, इनसे पहले भी आप क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? एन इस्तेमाल करेंगे. जितनी भी सीजन है, you cannot say at summer or on winter. So when we talk in the context of season, month, year, we will use what? एन हम इस्तेमाल करेंगे. When we talk about parts of the day, when we talk about, for example, in the evening, in the morning, in the afternoon, understand? When we talk about in the context of parts of the day, then we will use what? We will use an. So year, month, season, parts of the day, in the evening, in the morning, in the afternoon, understand? इसके लिए हम क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? एन इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Look at this sentence. I woke up in the night. I woke up in the night. Now over here you can say I woke up at midnight. You can also use, but let me tell you the very difference. What is the difference? If यहाँ पर आप it इस्तेमाल करते या n इस्तेमाल करो, वो यहाँ पर मैं compare करूँगा, ठीक है? लेकिन over here if I use n, understand? I am talking about middle of night. In the middle of night, I woke up in the night. I woke up in the night means in the middle of night. In the middle of night, when you woke up in the middle of night, so gentlemen, we use n. Talking about the uses of on. Day, date, single day. Understand? इसके लिए हम क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं? इसके लिए हम क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं? On इस्तेमाल करते हैं. For example, on Wednesday, on Tuesday, on Monday. हम इन मंडे हम इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते या एट मंडे हम इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. So when we talk about day or a date, understand? So when we talk about date or a day, we will use on. And single day के लिए हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं क्रिसमस हो या ईस्टर हो. Understand? Christmas day or Easter day. Understand? तो single day के लिए भी हम आप you can say हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. And means day on Wednesday, date के लिए भी हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? Secondly, on जो है हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं parts of the day के लिए भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Parts of the day के लिए भी हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Day plus parts of the day. On Friday morning, look at day plus parts of the day. डे के लिए सिंगल डे के लिए भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. ऑन वेडनेसडे एंड मंडे. डेट के लिए भी आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. सिंगल डे के लिए मींस क्रिसमस ईस्टर के लिए भी आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. सेकंड यूज है जो डिफरेंस है इन और ऑन में, जो मेजर डिफरेंस है वो क्या है? लुक एट दिस. एन हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं पार्ट्स ऑफ द डे के लिए, मींस इन द मॉर्निंग एंड इन द इवनिंग हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं. लेकिन ऑन जो है हम डे एंड प्लस पार्ट्स ऑफ द डे. पार्ट्स ऑफ द डे के लिए ऑन भी इस्तेमाल होता है, एन भी पार्ट्स ऑफ द डे के लिए इस्तेमाल होता है. क्या डिफरेंस है? सिर्फ डिफरेंस ये है कि ऑन में हम एक डे भी इंक्लूड करते हैं। अंडरस्टैंड मींस हम कहते हैं ऑन फ्राइडे मॉर्निंग, इन फ्राइडे मॉर्निंग आप नहीं कह सकते, यू कैन नॉट से इन फ्राइडे मॉर्निंग, अंडरस्टैंड, यू कांट से इन फ्राइडे मॉर्निंग, you will say on Friday morning, this is day and this is part of the day, this is part of the day and this is day, and over here it is just part of the day. तो ये मेजर डिफरेंस है over here in and on के दरमियान, understand. Secondly, talking about it हम किसके लिए, it refers to position and as well as clock time के लिए, at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, at 4 o'clock. तो जेंटलमैन टाइम के लिए हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं। दूसरा टाइम मील टाइम के लिए, एट द डिनर, अंडरस्टैंड, एट लंच टाइम, एट द लंच, अंडरस्टैंड, तो हम मील टाइम के लिए भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। एट द वीकेंड हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, एट द वीकेंड। लेकिन जेंटलमैन कीप वन थिंग इन योर माइंड दैट व्हेन वी इन ब्रिटिश इट इज एट द वीकेंड, सो सिंस वी आर फॉलोइंग ब्रिटिश, so definitely we will rely on using at the weekend. US में हम क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं, on इस्तेमाल करते हैं, on the weekend हम कहते हैं, on the weekend. We cannot say at the weekend in US. At the weekend is said in British English. Understand? So we will follow this pattern, at the weekend. US में हम on इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Look at this sentence. As I said in the lecture when I was discussing and I cannot sleep at night. I cannot sleep at night. And I woke up in the night. It means over here I talked about that whenever you say you use n, you are referring to that I woke up in the middle of night. But over here, generally I am talking that I can't sleep at night means whenever it is night I can't sleep. Whenever it is night, whenever you use it, so you will say what? That I can't sleep at night means that whenever it is night I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Gentlemen, secondly it is also really very important है, ये जो मैं डिस्कस करने जा रहा हूं, let us go have coffee at Morsels. Normally whenever we are doing movement के लिए हम क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं, to इस्तेमाल करते हैं, लेकिन अगर destination से पहले purpose of movement इस्तेमाल हो, if purpose of movement is coming before the destination, we will use on or in. Understand? Look at these two sentences. Let us go and have coffee at Morsels. Look at this. You cannot say let us go and have coffee to Morsels. No, gentlemen, you will use at. Why? Because over here coffee क्या है? It is the purpose of movement है. It is the purpose of movement है. Morsels हमारे साथ destination है. And I said that whenever purpose of movement is mentioned before the you can say destination, we will use what? At or n. Look at this. Why I am using over here at? I said कि at हम किसके लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं? Narrow region के लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं, and n हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं broader region के लिए. At is a kind of position. It is a kind of one point. जिस तरह के पेशावर है, पेशावर एक ब्रॉडर रीजन है, और जब हम पेशावर एयरपोर्ट की बात करते हैं तो एक स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट है, तो हम कहते हैं एट पेशावर एयरपोर्ट। अंडरस्टैंड? फॉर एग्जांपल एट एयरपोर्ट इन पेशावर कहेंगे, अगर इस तरह कहते हैं तो फिर कहेंगे एट एयरपोर्ट इन पेशावर। तो पेशावर इज अ ब्रॉडर रीजन, एयरपोर्ट इज अ नैरो रीजन। सो सेम इज द केस हियर। Look at this sentence. Let us go and have coffee. Over here, coffee is purpose of movement है, destination हमारा क्या है? Morsels है, तो इस वजह से यहाँ पर चूंकि purpose of movement first आया है, इस्तेमाल है, that's why you will use at. Understand? और Morsel एक specific point है, एक narrow point है, एक narrow region है, that's why you will use Morsel. Secondly, I went to see my father in Canada. I went to see my father in Canada. Look at this. To see my father is purpose of movement है. For what purpose I am going to Canada? For what purpose? For what purpose I am going to see my father? This is the purpose of movement. And destination क्या है? Canada है. I said that whenever the purpose of movement is coming before the destination, you will use n. Now, gentlemen, you will ask a question that over here you have used at and over here you have used n. I said in the beginning that whenever you are combining, whenever you are comparing at and n, At is normally used for narrow region and N is normally used for broader region. Since Canada is a broader region, it is a whole country, and over here Marshall is one point. That's why Marshall is a narrow region and N is Canada. In Canada, it is a broader region. That's why you will use N. Secondly, gentlemen, at हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं. It's also again very very important है. Target of perception के लिए हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं. For example, look, smile, understand. हम कहते हैं why are you looking at me? Why are you smiling at me? Understand? हम इस्तेमाल करें. It is called target of perception. So whenever we talk in the context of target of perception, we will use what? We will use it. हम it इस्तेमाल करेंगे for target of perception. Target of perception में look आता है, smile भी आता है, many other short है, understand, short है, understand. So these are certain words which are considered to be the target of perception. So whenever it is, whenever there are, you can say target of perception, we will use what? At. So why are you looking at me? Why are you smiling at me? Secondly, whenever there is attack or sense of aggression, whenever there is attack or sense of aggression, तो हम क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? It इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Whenever there is attack or sense of aggression, for example, shoot, shooting, understand? Shooting, shoot क्या है? Shoot से पहले आप क्या, shoot के बाद आप क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? It इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Why? Because there is a sense of attack, there is a sense of aggression. Understand? Shout. Why are you shouting at me? Again, there is a sense of aggression and there is a sense of attack. Why are you shouting at me? Understand? Whenever a person gets angry, normally his eyes poop out. Understand? So that's why you will use what? It इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Shoot and shout. Generally, whenever जो words जिसमें attack और aggression हो, gentlemen, इसमें आप it इस्तेमाल करेंगे. इसी तरह, why are you throwing stones at the dog? Why are you throwing stones at the dog? Again, so whenever you are throwing stone at someone, so definitely you are not a normal being. You would be happy. Sorry, you would be angry. You would be carrying aggressive design. That's why you are throwing stone at the dog. Understand? So that's why it will be also followed by what? Preposition at. So whenever those preposition, those words who carry sense of aggression or attack, it must be followed by what? Preposition at. Okay, whenever there is no idea of aggression, gentlemen, ये सिर्फ एक इसमें aggression है. Whenever there is no sense of attack, whenever there is no sense of aggression, whenever there is no sense of onslaught, definitely you will use what? तो फिर preposition to इस्तेमाल करेंगे. क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? Preposition to इस्तेमाल करेंगे. For example, please don't throw food to the animal. वही throw है, यहाँ पर भी throw यूज हुआ है, ठीक है? यहाँ पर भी throw यूज हुआ है, लेकिन preposition to इस्तेमाल क्या है? Why? Because there is no sense of aggression. Whenever you are throwing food to someone, whenever you are giving food to someone, so definitely you are a happy soul. You cannot be an aggressive mode. You cannot be yielding an aggressive design. That's why you will use what? Preposition to आप इस्तेमाल करेंगे. क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? Preposition to इस्तेमाल करेंगे. You cannot use at. At हम किससे इस्तेमाल करते हैं? At और aggression में. Secondly, when it means at हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं whenever there is sense of attack or aggression, and to is normally used whenever there is no idea of aggression. For example, please don't throw food to the animals. Understand? For example, अगर मैं कहूँ, would you like to shout to Ahmed? You can say in order to call him for dinner. Understand? So whenever you are एक तो shouting है. Understand? Shouting. Understand? Shouting is having an aggressive. Why are you shouting at me? It is an aggressive design. If I say polite, if I am making a polite request, would you like to call? You can say, would you like? You can say to call Ahmed. Now there is a polite request. That's why I would know. Or would you like to shout to Ahmed? You can say in to call him for dinner. Understand? Now there is a polite request. There is a sense of humbleness. There is a sense of you can say kindness. That's why there is, you can say, you call it milk of human kindness. That's why we will use what? To हम इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Gentlemen, it's really important. ये normally MCQs में आते हैं. Arrive in and arrive. Keep one thing in your mind. Arrive के साथ हम preposition to इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. You cannot say I arrived to Cadet College Razmak. It would be a blunder on the part of you if you are saying so. You cannot say I arrived to Cadet College Razmak. Instead, you will say what? I arrived in Cadet College Razmak or at Cadet College Razmak. If you are talking about narrow region, एट इस्तेमाल करेंगे। अगर आप ब्रॉडर रीजन, फॉर एग्जांपल आई अराइव्ड इन न्यूजीलैंड, आई अराइव्ड इन न्यूजीलैंड, न्यूजीलैंड इज अ ब्रॉडर रीजन। I arrived at airport. Understand? I arrived at airport. Now, gentlemen, airport is a broader region. It is a specific point. That's why आप at इस्तेमाल करेंगे। लेकिन arrived के साथ preposition to इस्तेमाल नहीं होता। Normally हम कहते हैं I arrived to Karachi. I arrived. Normally आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते। इसके साथ preposition at or in आप इस्तेमाल करेंगे। Secondly, gentlemen, यहाँ पर कुछ words हैं where you can't use. Look at this. In, it, on. जहां पर उनके साथ अगर ये वर्ड्स आ जाए तो उसमें से आप क्या इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते? In, it, on, इनसे पहले आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, every, lost, next, this, tomorrow, yesterday, all, some, each. These are, you can say, words, a pack of words. If they come in a sentence, it will not be. इनसे पहले आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते, ना on इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, ना it इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, ना it इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। Understands? For example, अगर मैं कह दूं, I will see you next Friday. I will see you next. I will see you next Friday. तो जेंटलमैन, ओवर हियर एज आई सेड, अगर नेक्स्ट आ जाए, एवरी आ जाए, लास्ट आ जाए, दिस आ जाए, टुमारो आ जाए, यस्टरडे आ जाए, ऑल, सम एंड ईच, इनसे पहले आप प्रीपोजिशन, यू कैन नॉट यूज प्रीपोजिशन एन, एट एंड ऑन। लुक एट, यहां पर नेक्स्ट यूज हुआ है। यू कैन नॉट से आई विल सी यू ऑन नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे, यू कैन नॉट से, बिकॉज नेक्स्ट यूज हुआ है। अंडरस्टैंड? यहां पर क्या यूज हुआ है? नेक्स्ट यूज हुआ है। दैट्स व्हाई आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते। यहां पर तो आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, डे एंड पार्ट्स ऑफ द डे ऑन फ्राइडे मॉर्निंग आप कह सकते हैं, लेकिन यहां पर आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि यहां पर नेक्स्ट यूज हुआ है। क्योंकि यहां पर क्या यूज हुआ है? नेक्स्ट यूज हुआ है। सेम इज द केस विद अदर। अगर एवरी आ जाए, अगर फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई से आई विल सी यू tomorrow evening, हम डायरेक्टली कहेंगे I will see you tomorrow evening. You cannot say I will see you on tomorrow evening or in tomorrow evening or at tomorrow evening. Same is the case with all. Yesterday भी है, this भी है, next भी है, last भी है, वो है। Understand? So these are it was a lecture about in, at and on. I would like to you people to watch this. God willing, it would be you can say highly productive for you to prepare for the entry test and as well as for all general tests. Thank you so much.